It is called a black gold, and now 60% of the world's production comes from China. In recent years, with the breakthrough of sturgeon breeding technology, China has become the world's largest caviar producer and exporter, supplying 60% of the global market. Now, for every 100 grams of caviar in the world, 12 grams are produced in Yuan, Sichuan. A local caviar export company exports its products to more than 30 countries and regions around the world. How did the caviar of this small Chinese city go out of the mountains and go abroad? Let's take a closer look in this video. Looking back at the development trajectory of the caviar industry in Sichuan, behind it is not only the breakthrough made by the Chinese in sturgeon artificial breeding technology, but also the story of Sichuan making full use of the high-quality natural resources on the edge of the western Sichuan plateau to cultivate an emerging industry. This is not only a simple family history of fish farming, but also the accumulated results of several generations of scientific research and technical practice. Caviar has always been known to be expensive. It is one of the three most delicacies in the world along with foie gras and black truffles. The traditional way to eat it is to put a small spoonful of it on the back of your hand and lick it off in one bite. In the Russian way of eating, people are accustomed to adding a strong shot of vodka. Eat it in one bite, and the salty flavor also has the unique dense feeling of fish roe. In modern times, celebrities from all walks of life have given it mixed reviews. Some people like it, while others dislike it. All in all, there is a strong smell of money behind that salty aroma. The reason why caviar is expensive has to do with its origin. According to the definition given by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, caviar refers to food made from the eggs of sturgeon fish that have been treated with salt. Caviar is expensive because of the rarity of sturgeon. Sturgeons are ancient fish species that can be traced back to the Jurassic era, about 180 million years ago. They are regarded as living fossils among fishes. It is mainly distributed in the northern part of the northern hemisphere. It is mostly a migratory fish with large body size, slow growth rate and long lifespan, which can exceed 100 years. The most expensive caviar in the world is currently from the great paddlefish. The growth rate of paddlefish is very slow, and they generally have to wait until they are 20 years old before they can lay eggs. The price of caviar made from their eggs can reach $113,600 per kilogram. Since the 17th century, caviar has developed into a noble food that reflects class status. It spread from Russia westward to Europe along with the expansion of modern railway networks. As a status symbol, demand for caviar continued to grow for more than 2 centuries. At the same time, its source mainly relies on catching wild sturgeon and then collecting and processing eggs. Sturgeon fishing spots have continued to expand from the northern coast of the Caspian Sea, the core production area in Russia in the early days. In the trade chain at that time, Europeans provided capital, Russians exported fishing experience, and black gold diggers scattered the major rivers in the northeastern United States, the Amur River on the Sino-Russian border, and Iran on the southern bank of the Caspian Sea. In an era of rapid global wealth accumulation, the demand for caviar continues to rise, and wild sturgeons are gradually approaching the edge of extinction. By the end of the last century, a total of 27 species of sturgeons under the order Acipenseriformes were included in the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, which followed more stringent sturgeon trade regulatory measures. The sharp decline in wild sturgeon populations and regulation have caused the price of caviar to continue to rise. By 2000, about 30 countries and regions around the world had launched technologies related to artificial breeding of sturgeon, trying to solve the caviar industry's dependence on wild sturgeon through artificial breeding. However, the research and development of artificial breeding technology for sturgeons and the breeding of sturgeons take time, and the price of caviar cannot be reduced in a short period of time due to artificial intervention. It was also from this stage that China's caviar industry grew and developed rapidly. In China's caviar industry, Sichuan is a latecomer that has caught up quickly. Before it, Heilongjiang, Beijing and Zhejiang have worked hard on artificial breeding of sturgeon and caviar processing and production, and have made achievements. Since the 1980s, Heilongjiang has actively promoted the artificial breeding of sturgeon in China. In the late 1980s, the Heilongjiang State Farm Bureau began to release Assapenser shrinky fry into Heilongjiang. In 1995, the state officially launched the work around the protection and breeding of sturgeon populations. The Chinese Academy of Fishery Sciences and the Heilongjiang Hydropower Research Institute jointly established the Chinese Academy of Fishery Sciences Sturgeon Breeding Technology Engineering Center in Beijing. The center conducts research on the breeding of sturgeons under fully artificial conditions, and introduces new species such as Russian sturgeon and Siberian sturgeon for fully artificial breeding. In 2000, Beijing made a breakthrough in the artificial breeding technology of Siberian sturgeon for the first time. Since then, the number of artificially propagated seedlings of this species has gradually increased. By 2002, more than 2,000 sturgeon seedlings had been successfully bred and matured. Qiandao Lake in Zhejiang is the earliest place in China to carry out large-scale artificial breeding of sturgeons. On the one hand, Qiandao Lake has good water quality and a cold water environment that sturgeons need to grow. On the other hand, it is located in the Yangtze River Delta, with strong consumption capacity and close to foreign trade ports. The convenient domestic and foreign transportation is conducive to the connection of caviar produced in Qiandao Lake to overseas markets. In 2006, Qiandao Lake produced the first can of domestic caviar. To date, Zhejiang has become the largest caviar production base in the country. Almost at the same time as Qiandao Lake, people in Sichuan, nearly 2,000 kilometers away, decided to seize the opportunity of large-scale artificial breeding of sturgeons. In 2002, Li Jun, who graduated from Dalian Fisheries College, began to try to breed sturgeons in Sichuan. In 2008, he suffered serious losses in the breeding base built in Pengzhou due to the Wenchuan earthquake. After that, relevant technicians began to conduct extensive research in Yunnan, Guizhou, and Sichuan, trying to find more places suitable for sturgeon farming in the southwest. As a sub-cold water fish, sturgeons naturally grow in high-latitude areas and have extremely high requirements for the water temperature of the growing environment. 24 degrees Celsius is its sub-lethal water temperature, and sturgeons will die if it exceeds 28 degrees Celsius. Both Zhejiang and Sichuan belong to low-latitude subtropical areas where summers are hot. Continuous high temperatures exceeding 30 degrees Celsius will cause the surface temperature of the water to continue to rise, which easily leads to high surface water temperatures in southern waters in summer, which is not conducive to sturgeon farming. The relatively high terrain differences in the plateaus and mountains in western Sichuan form layered temperature zones, which undoubtedly bring more options for sturgeon farming. In 2015, the largest caviar production base in Sichuan was established in Tianquan County, Yuan, with a farming area of 46,000 square meters. Tianquan County is located on the eastern slope of the Qinghai Tibet Plateau. To the west of the sturgeon breeding base is Erlang Mountain, which is the first barrier for Sichuan to enter the Qinghai Tibet Plateau. Tianquan County has a large vertical elevation difference and an average annual temperature of about 15 degrees Celsius. These conditions bring high-quality and year-round low-temperature plateau glacier meltwater to the base, providing an ideal habitat for artificial breeding of sturgeons. In addition, Tianquan County is less than 200 kilometers away from Chengdu. Such convenient transportation conditions are conducive to the rapid export of caviar, produced by the base from Chengdu International Airport to the whole country. According to Chengdu Customs data, the export value of Sichuan caviar in 2023 has reached 87.083 million yuan, becoming a new star in the province's export agricultural products. Of course, Sichuan can achieve such results, but also inseparable from the support of modern technology. From seed breeding, artificial breeding, egg processing and caviar production, the entire chain of sturgeon from the source to the final product, each link is the result of the progress of domestic fishery technology and food processing technology. The first is to select and cultivate varieties that are more adapted to the local environment and have better egg-carrying capacity. To this end, the Institute of Fisheries of Sichuan Academy of Agricultural Sciences has cultivated better quality sturgeon varieties through variety screening and hybrid breeding. Du Jun, secretary of the party committee of the institute, introduced in an interview with the media, after years of breeding, they have increased the egg-carrying capacity of sturgeons from an average of 10% to 12% of body weight to 12% to 15% and up to 18%. Sichuan is still investing in research on sturgeon varieties. At present, the Sichuan Fisheries Research Institute continues to search for sturgeon parents, i.e. male and female fish used in the hybrid breeding process, around the world to improve the genetic archive of the species, and conduct molecular genetic diversity analysis and genetic matching through multiple high-quality sturgeon parents, and continuously screen and cultivate sturgeon hybrids with faster growth and stronger disease resistance. Secondly, in the breeding process, technicians use scientific methods to carry out flow breeding in independent circular pools. In Tianquan County, more than 200 circular flow pools are built along the river. A clear channel named Sijing River is built next to the park, which introduces high mountain meltwater with low temperature all year round into the breeding area. As a migratory spawning fish, the amount of eggs carried by sturgeons is related to the flow of water, which helps stimulate the development of the gonads of sturgeons and make them carry more eggs. Therefore, the water inlet of the fish pond adopts a sophisticated design, which is injected into the pool obliquely to make the water in the pool flow, forming a microcirculation system. When the sturgeons grow to the stage where eggs can be taken, Sichuan researchers have also optimized the technology of gender identification. Technicians can quickly identify the sex of sturgeons based on ultrasound examination and molecular marker identification technology. This solution has higher accuracy than the early puncture technology. In the egg collection and caviar processing stages, all operations of technicians are arranged to be performed in a sterile environment. In order to keep the taste of caviar as much as possible, workers in the workshop need to manually complete 17 processes such as killing fish, laparotomy, egg collection, salt mixing, and canning within 15 minutes. During this period, salt concentration, manual stirring strength and duration are all crucial, and these steps determine the elasticity and taste of fish eggs. These processing and production standards also benefit from Sichuan's active learning experience from technicians in international high-quality production areas. In 2013, an Iranian caviar master in his 70s was invited to Sichuan. The old man was not willing to teach his craft until the second year of his arrival in China. With the support of these modern technologies, high-quality caviar produced in Sichuan has gradually opened up the international market. By participating in major international professional exhibitions such as the Boston Seafood Show in North America, the Brussels Global Seafood Expo, and the Vigo International Seafood Exhibition in Spain, Sichuan caviar has appeared on the international table. The past 4 years have also been a period of rapid growth in the export volume of Sichuan caviar. By 2022, the sales volume of Sichuan caviar has increased by more than 60% compared with 2019. While Sichuan caviar is bravely entering the international market, Sichuan people, who are naturally good at eating and humorous, have also begun to think about integrating this new ingredient into the local market. Chen Tianfu, the inheritor of the intangible cultural heritage of Sichuan cuisine in China, has launched a fusion dish of caviar and traditional Sichuan cuisine. He combined caviar with glutinous rice and camphor tea duck in Sichuan cuisine, and attached a small spoonful of caviar to the duck meat, which can make the taste more intense after entering the mouth. Its grains are also relatively full, and the salty fragrance is relatively strong and heavy, and then it will bring out some nuts and milk flavors when you take a bite. Chen Tianfu said in an interview with CCTV. In the past, the caviar used in this dish was all imported ingredients, but now the dish that diners eat has completely used Sichuan local caviar. The amazing journey of the fusion of Sichuan cuisine and caviar has just begun. However, China has achieved a counterattack in the caviar industry. On this difficult road, the Chinese have not only achieved breakthroughs in artificial breeding, farming and processing of sturgeons, but also, with the joint efforts of researchers and technicians from all over the country, caviar has not only achieved large-scale mass production in China, but also has even reduced its price after entering the international market. In Sichuan, caviar is no longer just a new industry. As the discussion heat fades, it is also being integrated into the local culture of curious Sichuan people. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more great content. See you next time.